Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Boisterous coming to you with some Goldie Goodiness out of the map Shakur's Plateau. Spawning down here in the bottom right-hand corner with a little bit of missed seconds there. He missed like 7 seconds of the game with his workers. Is going to be Riderdouble as the red Zerg, and up here in the top left-hand corner we have his opponent Zero as the blue Terran. And you know, I just need to say this real fast because it's actually bugging me. Today I remembered to turn my air conditioning off. I'm sure plenty of you have noticed that so far in this video. And it's actually messing with my head because whenever I commentate, my air conditioning is usually on. In fact, whenever I'm in this room, the air conditioning is usually on because it gets really hot otherwise. And it's just messing with my head that there isn't that constant white noise in the background. It's bothering me. There's like a little bit of it from my computer fan, but it's nothing in comparison. We have the standard supply depot going down at the front along with a 9 overlord, so there isn't going to be any sort of drone tricking because drone tricking is bad. It's pretty bad. And Riderdouble's playing a little bit sloppy. It is Gold League, so that's kind of acceptable. However, he's letting drones go for 10-15 seconds longer than he needs to before he builds them and stuff like that. Just little tiny minor things that kind of mess with your play. Zero is again going for something extremely standard, not going for any sort of fast tech build. He has no gas. He might be going for gasless fast expand, which has really cropped up a lot in TVZ ever since. Whoa! That's not normal. I was totally expecting just literally a 15 hatch. That's very odd, especially on Shakur's, because Shakur's is such a favorable map for fast expanding. I mean, just look at this ramp and look at this natural. It's so good for fast expanding. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. That actually makes very, very little sense to me. And we still have no gas from Zero, so I'm just gonna have to call it and say that's probably gonna be a gasless fast expand. Because Goodiness has been teaching me lately about how Terran works. Because apparently Terran builds are complicated. And there's the command center does go down for the gasless FE. This SCV is pulled off the line. He's going to try to deal with the drone. The drone did get kind of a scout off, but didn't actually get to see either of the two gases. So the only thing that he really has to indicate that is the fact that there's a command center down. And I'm not sure if it's going to make the connections. I won't lie. It's something that I think a lot of players should learn. It's the other races' main build orders, and in fact it's even better if you just play as the other races for 10 or 15 games a season, if you can spare that amount of games, just because it lets you get up to date on what strategies are good for them, what's easy to use, what's hard to use, what's easy to do, what's hard to do. It's very useful to see. We have Zero hitting a little bit of supply block there, but not too bad. He's definitely playing pretty nicely. The first queen is up for Riderdouble. This hatchery is not yet completed, but it will be wrapping up in a very short time. I'm surprised he hasn't just started a second queen here and then moved this queen down to the natural. That's what a lot of players have started to do now, purely because it lets you get those double queens up much faster. So it's a lot stronger just to go for a build like that. And we have just Marines getting pumped out currently. This is an odd bunker placement, I would say. I don't know. I mean, I guess I think his plan is going to be to wall off here and then have the bunker here behind the pseudo wall off. However, honestly, just wall off with a few barracks up here. It's way easier, and then just put a bunker behind it so that it's much more resilient to bailing busts. This is definitely strange. Definitely strange. We have an SCV getting poked at by some poisoned barbs, or no, acidy spines. Sorry, they're not poisoned. Queens don't know how to poison stuff. All they know is acid. This bunker's like bugging me out. I don't know why that bunker's there. It's very odd. And we finally have the factory come down for Zero. And there's a second barracks too. I wonder what he actually plans on building as far as units go. So far he hasn't really tipped his hand as far as anything that he wants to do with tech or anything like that. He's had a very interesting game plan. And there the Overlord Scout does get taken out. However, again, it didn't see anything out of the ordinary. It didn't even see anything spectacularly telling. It just saw a couple of things building. It didn't see this reactor coming down. That kind of indicates more of a bio play. Maybe it's going to be a double Hellion play. But he built that factory really far away, too. That's kind of strange. I guess I could see this coming out to be a double Hellion play. I wouldn't be overly surprised. However, this is a long float distance for these buildings to swap it up. There's the starport coming out. And I don't think it's gonna swap because the factory. No, it's gonna be. This is kind of an odd build order for a Terran player. Either that or it's extremely standard and he's literally just like, I'm over analyzing the fact that he's just going to go Marine tank medevac. Which is, it's a possibility. Because I'm bad. That's kind of just how it rolls. The third refinery is coming up for Zero. He's going to be kicking more of that gas out soon. And we have our Zerg player on 4 refineries, which is kind of odd to have this early in the game. Usually you have like 2 refineries until your layer is halfway done, and then you actually kick it up into 4 refineries so that you can get those heavy tech units. However, if you're going to go for anything super heavy gas, like a Mutalisk Cloud, because Mutalisks are almost always more effective the more Mutalisks you have, and it's the fastest way to get, roaches. It might be Roach Infestor, but then again, Roach Infestor, you don't need that many Infestors, so you don't need that much gas. I mean, you need maybe 4 to 6 Infestors with your army, because honestly at that point you're just not putting enough supply and enough resources into the army itself, and your army actually starts like dwindling in effectiveness. Because if you have an army of just pure Infestors, unless you're really good at clicking and you can click a lot of infested Terran out rapidly, it's not going to be super effective. We have Galil reconstruct, Galil, I'm gonna call it Galil. We have Galil reconstruction pumping out, and there's the double Hellion play along with a couple of I don't know. This building placement is extremely odd, and there is a Banshee play. However, the Tech Lab, alright, I'm baffled because he's doing like all this crazy stuff that I thought he was gonna do, but he's just doing it in an extremely odd fashion. Like the double Hellion play has completely lost all of its effectiveness. I mean, look at the amount of roaches. There's no way these double Hellions are going to do anything. They needed to come out like 3 minutes earlier, aka just about the time when this barracks finished its first reactor, and you know the Hellions could have started coming out, and they're trying to dodge into the base. However, that's not a good strategy. They're actually just going to get completely acid burned. And there's the first Banshee coming in for yet another harass, and there are 3 Overseers. So even with this cloak, it's not going to matter at all, and in fact, once he sees those 3 Overseers, he should just cancel cloak. Because honestly, it's wasted resources, and he does not cancel cloak. And there's the cloak, but there's like 3 Overseers right here. Just keep an Overseer with the Queens. Just move an Overseer with the Queens. Okay, maybe he's not going to do that. Anyway, we have a reasonably good injects. I mean, not the best in the world, but definitely not the worst. Bringing him up 11 more roaches, so his army supply is actually rocketing up. I'm still very intrigued to see the fact that he has not dropped an infestation pit yet, because infestation pits are amazingly good for tech and stuff. And he also hasn't started his rank 2 upgrades, which is kind of strange, because usually when you are doing one of these roach attacks, you want as many upgrades as fast as possible. And it looks like he has quite a menacing roach force here. And honestly, Zero just doesn't have that much to defend with. I mean, he has, what, 3 Marauders? 2 Marauders? The real big thing is that he has this Banshee to put a timer on the roaches. However, honestly, it's going to be a big thing of how much damage can these roaches do before that timer expires and the Banshees finally do kill them all. And it looks like it's going to be a whole ton. The entire army from Zero is going down. A lot of SCVs dying too. So much damage being dealt. This bunker is most certainly going to fall, and there it does go down, and everything falling into pieces of acid. The natural expansion is almost certainly going to get sniped here. There's a couple of roaches that just felt like sitting there, pointing an arrow back to his own base, which of course, you know, the other roaches will need to know where the base is when it comes time to retreat when there's just too many Banshees. And right now, at only 2 Banshees, I'm not sure if that time is ever going to come this game, because it looks like these roaches are just going to be able to slam their way on through this base. And, it is not looking good. This wall is most certainly going to fall here. As soon as this wall falls, you can just start ringing, you can just start ringing Zerglings into the base, and that's really a big thing for Zerg players to do, because Zerglings, yeah, they don't die to Banshees quickly, and just because there's so many of them, the Banshees can't take them all out fast enough. And there's the big liftoff from Zero, but Zero has essentially lost the game at this point. He really, I don't know why he's lifting off. There's no way he's gonna win this. I mean, Riderdouble has queens at home to defend against these banshees. All of the money-making facilities from Zero have essentially gone down right now, and all of these SCVs are basically sacrificial. You know, maybe he'll get a couple out before the roaches kill them all, but nah, there's roaches blocking the ramp, and that is almost certainly going to be game over. I'm wondering how long Zero plans to stay in this game for. It better not be that much longer, because otherwise I'm going to be mad, Zero. I'm going to be super mad. Because there was just a lot of roaches here. You know, that roach bust is an extremely potent build, especially if you send somebody not going for siege tanks. Because siege tanks are very, very good against roaches, and they're very good at killing roaches en masse. Something that things like these banshees here are not good at doing. They're good at picking off roaches, you know, singularly, maybe even harassing the roach count a little bit. But there are the hydras, and hydras are now coming out, so all of these banshees are probably going to get cleaned up sooner rather than later. Basically, as soon as this next wave of 5 hydras comes in, because he didn't quite group up his hydras well enough to cause that to do any major damage. And all of the buildings are flying off to the far corners of the world, but Zero lost. If you lose a game, guys, just leave with dignity. I understand you can float your buildings, so you haven't technically lost yet, but you're done. You're done, son. There's nothing coming out from that. And 3, 2, 1. I'm confused about what that time. Oh, it was for the hydras arriving and killing. And there's Zero has left the game. Finally, only like 2 minutes late. So anyway, I would like to thank you all for watching this. And you can, I kind of had a mini brain fart there, and I had no idea what I wanted to say. And you can all check out my channel over at youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2. Also, remember to my dog has to bark in the last 30 seconds of my videos. Freaking dog. Anyway, thank you all for watching this video. You can send in your replays to boisteroussc2@gmail.com. And also, if you would like to watch me do a live commentary tonight, it will be at 7 p.m. EST, and it's going to be for the Foreman Cup Diamond and Up. I like that more. It rhymes. I think it's actually Diamond Plus, but I'm going to say Foreman Cup Diamond and Up. And anyway, before I completely lose my train of thought, which has been happening for like the last 30 seconds, I'm just going to say this is Boisterous, signing out.